So now the sun is going down, the stars are coming out, and it's time to have a ball. But do you realize how few people have ever been to a real ball? With ball gowns and corsages and tuxedos and patent leather? And it wasn't just Saturday night. Every night of the week, in ballrooms all over Los Angeles, young men could foxtrot together with their first love, step together step. They really were a way of life at night, but I'd hate to make a living trying to sell dance wax and corsages these days. What really isn't here anymore is that high-spending brother-in-law of the ballroom, the nightclub. A nightclub is really just a small, fancy ballroom with a restaurant to serve you food and a floor show to entertain you while you eat. And Los Angeles had the biggest, the best, the most famous, and the most expensive. And the nightclub that was all of that and more was the Coconut Grove at the Ambassador Hotel.
Now, as you entered the Coconut Grove, it really was a grove of coconuts, and not fake-looking coconut trees. They were really good-looking. Everything was done in magnificent taste. And then a big stairway down to the dance floor, boxes all along the side. Up on the top, there were more boxes. And then tables all around. The Coconut Grove was not a big barn. It was a gorgeous place. You came in, parked your car, then came through a series of beautiful shops. In fact, you could blindfold me and I wouldn't know what town I was in, and you walk me through those shops and I'd say, I'm in the Ambassador.
On the casino floor, which was directly across from the Coconut Grove, one of the places was occupied by the Blue Book models of Hollywood. Now, anybody who thought they had photographic qualities and things like that could enroll in this school. And if there's anything good about you in connection with entertainment, this lady was able to bring it out.
On every Sunday afternoon, an amateur photographer grabbed his movie camera and came back with more than just pretty pictures.
One girl was particularly very cooperative. She just wanted to do anything I said. Like I was a big-time director here, I was a nobody. And this was in 1942, and that girl was Norma Jean Doherty. A lot of people have claimed they discovered Marilyn Monroe. Well, in 1942, this is a frame enlargement of my movie. And that's her at 16.
But when the bathing beauties paraded off stage, the Coconut Grove would come alive with Freddie Martin, or Gus Arnheim, or Bing Crosby and the Rhythm Boys.
I sang in Glee Club in Hollywood High, and the three of us got together and imitated the Rhythm Boys at the Coconut Grove. And the Coconut Grove in those days was the #1 place in the world at which to sing, and of course, stars galore.
And it just so happened that the place in the world in which to sing was holding auditions.
So we went over and tried out with all the others, and my mother said, now don't be disappointed if you don't get the job, because I never made more than $5 from my dad for mowing the lawn and things like that. And I came back and she said, now, I know how impressed you are and discouraged probably you are about now. I said, no, we got the job. We start next Monday and I'm going to make $100 a week. In those days, $100, wow. I'm telling you, the night we opened at the Coconut Grove, and we called ourselves the Three Ambassadors for the Ambassador Hotel, the night we opened, it held about 800. We had 1,600 kids from Hollywood High School that night. I could do no wrong.
Here is music by Martin.
People at the Coconut Grove didn't come to dance, they came to sway. You couldn't dance, there were too many people on the floor. This was a tremendously romantic time.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, here truly is music by Martin. Freddie Martin is singing saxophone and orchestra, broadcasting from fashionable Coconut Grove in the world-famous Ambassador Hotel, located on Wilshire Boulevard in Los Angeles, California.
When you would come to the Grove, they would dance by the bandstand if Phil was there and say, Phil, would you play Rose Room, which would happen to be his theme. That's our theme. They loved it, you know. I think the times dictated an awful lot of wonderful things. People were a little different. I'm going to say they're far different than they are now.
I wish somebody would have tapped me on the shoulder and says, Leo, these are the good old days. And I would say, well, you're kidding, aren't you?
For decades, the Ambassador Hotel and the Coconut Grove were the signature way to live it up in Los Angeles. The music played on and on until January 2nd, 1989, when they finally closed their doors and the big band music stopped. Today, the Ambassador Hotel is still there, but it's an empty monument, reminding us of a glorious period of Los Angeles history.
And we're back at the famous corner of Sunset and Vine, except you look around here today, you say, what's so famous? Over there used to be Glenn Wallach's Music City. That was the social center of Hollywood and the national center of the music business. And behind it was Tom Brenneman's restaurant, a tourist landmark, site of a Stone Age talk show called Breakfast in Hollywood. But it's what used to be right on this corner that made this corner famous. This was the Los Angeles headquarters of the National Broadcasting Company. Big complex of radio studios that looked like the Starship Enterprise. And all they produced was sound. As Ed Murrow used to say, I can hear it now. That's me, Roger Moore.
Oh, I know where my baton is. It's right here in the hall.
Oh, no, McGee, please, not on Sunday. Don't.
Tracy, what do we talk about?
Well, you can only talk about 5 minutes. That's all they want us to talk about.
Well, they tore it all down. The whole city block of NBC radio disappeared in 1964, and with it all of the magic. Almost. Actually, some of the machinery of that old magic factory is still here in the basement underneath Home Savings in the clubroom of the Pacific Pioneer Broadcasters. And you know, there are other treasure troves like this all over Los Angeles. People are saving little bits and pieces of the past for the future. Now, I know we've seen a lot of things that aren't here anymore, but if you've still got your imagination and your memory, they'll always be with us. Let's see if the thing still works. The casa était muy buenas noches para la ciudad de Los Angeles. Top story here for KCET. Good evening, Los Angeles.
Well, those are amazing stories and pictures.